Don't mind me, sorry about that, just drinking my espresso, because this week we are in Italy. This weekend, Formula One returns to Imola for round 7 of the 2025 schedule at the iconic Imola, the Autodromo Internazionale Enzo e Dino Ferrari. Yes, that is a freaking mouthful. It's Imola for short. It's round 7 of the 2025 season, so let's dive into my race preview, giving you everything that you need to know for this weekend's Grand Prix. First, let's talk about the championship standings. Oscar Piastri is out front with 131 points, leading his teammate Lando Norris with 115, and in third you have Max Verstappen with 99. In the constructor standings, there is only one team that you need to worry about. Is McLaren. They're blowing everybody else out of the water, mainly because both of their drivers are at the top of their game right now. Well, at least Oscar is. So let's dive into the racetrack itself, Imola. It's a 4.909 kilometer circuit, known for its challenging corners, its rich history, and will host 63 laps of high-speed action this weekend. There is one DRS detection zone between turns 15 and 16, with the DRS zone between turns 19 and turn 2. And yes, I said turn 2 because there's technically a corner right after turn 1. So the first corner, true left-hander, is actually turn 2. And what this sets us up for is some potentially wild overtakes at this circuit. Now, speaking of overtakes, there is anywhere between 25 to 30 overtakes at this track historically. Now, last year there was around 30, which puts us in the same category of Bahrain, Saudi Arabia, Great Britain, and Miami. Now, one of the biggest questions I get asked every week is, what time is the race? What time is qualifying? What time are practices? Well, here they are. Starting on Friday, May 16th, all times are Eastern time. You have practice 1 at 7:30 a.m., followed by practice 2 at 11 a.m. Then on Saturday, May 17th, you have practice 3 at 6:30 a.m. with qualifying at 10 a.m. And that leads us to Sunday, May 18th, and I need to read this off because I still have trouble saying this. It is the Formula One AWS Gran Premio del Made in Italy del Emilia Romagna 2025. That is literally the name of this race. It's ridiculously long for no reason. And we get lights out at 9 a.m. Now, what is the weather supposed to be? Well, it looks like it should be sunny between 65 and 75 Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. There's a 15% chance of rain all 3 days. I'm not worried about that though, but it's Italy. You never know what's going to happen. May have a pop-up shower at one portion of the track or another, which could pose a very small threat of potential tire changes. But either way, I wouldn't worry about it. It should be a great weekend of racing. Speaking of tires, what are the tire compounds that will be introduced this weekend at Imola? Well, we're going to see the C6 tire. It's actually going to be a new tire compound that we've never seen before on these Formula One cars. These are going to be the soft compound tires. Then we're going to have the C5s, which are the mediums, and the C4s, which will be the hard tires. So going into this weekend, what are some key storylines that I'm particularly paying attention to? Number one is Piastri's dominance. Can he win 4 in a row? Can he keep this up, beating Max, beating his teammate, and extending his championship lead? I think he potentially can. The second thing is Verstappen. Can he close the gap? We saw in Miami that he was only able to hold off both McLarens for a little bit of time before finishing in 4th. So it's a little bit harder for him to race specifically in this kind of car. How long will this last? The third storyline is Lewis Hamilton's debut. So this is the first time that we're going to see Lewis Hamilton in front of the Tifosi. How is he going to perform? Can he get a podium? Well, I don't know. I don't know if that car is going to be good enough. They aren't bringing the upgrades to Imola. They're going to bring upgrades potentially in 2 races in Spain. Do I expect Ferrari to be on the podium? Potentially, because it's Ferrari, it's Italy, magical things happen. But I'm not going to set my hopes too high. The fourth thing is Antonelli's homecoming. We got to remember, Kimi Antonelli is Italian. This is going to be the first time that he is going to be in front of an Italian crowd in Formula One. How welcoming will the Tifosi be for an Italian driver? Well, if you're asking me, I'm going to be very welcoming of him. I'm going to cheer him on just like I would cheer on Ferrari. The question is, will everybody else treat him like a Ferrari driver, like one of their own? I think so. Now, before going into some of my picks, I want to talk about some quick track facts. Lewis Hamilton holds the record for the fastest lap here at 1 minute 15.484 seconds, set back in 2020. Second, this has traditionally been a one-stop race. So with the new allocation of the C6 tire, could we see this potentially go to a 2-stop because of the degradation? We won't know until we literally see cars on the grid or in practice trying to test out this new tire. And third, Imola's pit lane is one of the longest pit lanes in Formula One, which means the greatest time lost on pit road. So How is this going to play into strategy? I think it's going to be very important, especially with cars that are not as strong with straight line speed comparatively to cornering speed. And speaking of speed, here are my podium picks for this weekend's race in Imola. Starting with my third place prediction, I think it will be a fan favorite of the Italians and Tifosi, but it won't be a Ferrari. I expect it to be Kimi Antonelli will get third. In second, I'm actually going to go with his teammate, George Russell, finishing in P2. And as it pains me to say this, and it's not going to be a Ferrari winning this race, I don't believe. I think it will be a McLaren, and I think it's going to be Oscar Piastri. He is just too good all around. He can qualify, he can, make up for his mistakes. He can have straight line speed, cornering speed. He can pass and outpace Max Verstappen. He has been able to do everything fairly right comparatively to everybody else this season. So I'm going to pick Oscar Piastri to win 4 in a row this weekend at the Emilia Romagna Grand Prix. Ferrari fans, I am so sorry. I hate to do that to us. But if we were going to get the upgrades, I would maybe have a different story, maybe a different lineup. Maybe something will happen. Maybe Lewis and Leclerc will surprise us. I'm not going to put any effort into it, any kind of expectation. That is what I'm going to pick this weekend. So, grab an espresso like I have right here and drop your winning picks into the comments. And if you enjoyed this episode of Track Limits, make sure you hit that subscribe right there. I did it again. Hit that subscribe right there so you don't miss an ounce of Formula One content, as well as all the other content creators that we have here on ATYL Media. This is John, the Motorsports Enthusiast, and as always, make sure to keep it within track limits, and I will see you next week on my recap video of the Emilia Romagna Grand Prix. Ciao.